speak about is leadership and really finding what you want to do when we all grow up. Guess what? I'm not growing up. How many of you want to grow up? Oh, good, we're going to have some fun in the next 45 minutes. Absolutely. And Dr. Orr, of course, when he asked me to come here and speak in his class, I am always happy to do so, because all of you have an interest in leadership and communications. And how many of you want to every day go to work and make a difference? There you go. Okay, we're still all awake. That's good. Absolutely. Yeah, and your generation in particular is really focused on being able to see that change and be a part of that change. So my really calling is really to help all of you really inspired to be there. So yeah, my journey has been absolutely amazing. You know, you actually mentioned 3 of my companies, which is Legacy Producers, Rhino Living, and my internship, Gopher. And the 3 of those companies, how many years do you think it took? I'm 35 years old, by the way. How many years do you think it took me to build those companies? Take a guess.
3 years.
Oh, man, you're good. You have done your work. Yes, 3 years. Wow, that's pretty crazy, huh? Most people thought it was. So really what I'm going to do is talk to you today about that leadership journey and what you can actually do to make it possible. And you did touch on some of my books that I'm writing to, and yes, Do It Rhino Style. That's actually just where I came from. I did a teleseminar with Dave McGrogan. Some of you may know he's the CEO of Kildare's, Doc McGrogan's, soon to be Moss, Mexicali Cantina, Harvest, you name it. Lots of things going on in his life. But we were able to put this book together in how many days? What do you think? DJ nod. DJ, right? Not allowed to answer. How many?
47.
Lower.
28.
Lower.
12.
14.
Higher. Higher than 12. 15. Yes. Who said 15? Yes. 15 days. This is something that people are like, you did what? And that was from writing to actually having it at our home printed. So, Do It Rhino Style is all about achieving your dreams and getting your goals aligned and in action. And with that, you need to start with clearing the mental clutter. And I'll go into some of that through my talk today. And I want to, at the end, have an opportunity for you to ask me questions as well, because my journey was not always, wow, that's kind of crazy. She built 3 companies in 3 years. You know, my job is not to brag today. My job is to inspire you to find what your passions are in life and live them. This is how I did it. You mentioned my book, Chasing Stars. There are 5 P's. I put things together. I'm a trainer, so of course I come up with models. There are 5 P's to Chasing Stars. You ready? Everybody's like, grab the pencils. Here's the juice, babe. This is free. Write it down. Find your principles, folks. I'm going to actually ask Dr. Orr, if you don't mind, to pass out these sheets. That would be wonderful. What are principles? And no, it's not a leader of your high school. What are principles? Okay, how many of you are communication majors? Excellent. So, what are principles?
Like values that you decide to live your life or whatever you're doing by.
You're right on. Congratulations, and thank you for volunteering. Yes, principles. What Dr. Orr is handing out to all of you right now are going to be a list of core values. Now, what I want you to do is go through this list, and you'll see there's a list that you need to get down to 5 core values. So here, I'll help you on this side. If you want to start, DJ, just pass them all around up here so we all have them. You'll see 20 core values. Thank you, Dr. Orr. What I want you to do is get that list down to 15. So I want you to place a check mark beside 15. So if we have 20 and you need to put a check mark beside 15, how many are you eliminating? Oh, yeah, 5. See, we're good at math too. Good, good. So put a check mark beside the 15 ones that you can really resonate with. Yeah, that's important to me. I see all of you counting up your check marks. Good job. So now what I want you to do is look at those 15, and because you're bright college students, I'm going to skip the whole 10 part, getting it down to 10. I want you to look at those 15 and see if you can get them down to your 5 core values. Now, when I say core values, those 15 will come and go. For example, when I was in my early 20s, yeah, they're a little bit different than maybe where I am right now. But however, there's those 5 core values that I'll tell you right now, they were the same 5 when I was 21 to the same 5 when I'm 35 right now. So look through those lenses and say, what are those things that make it my core? The ones that really don't go off the plate. I live them pretty much 99.9% of my essence. While you're doing that, I'll tell you a quick Ben Franklin story. Ben Franklin actually had 13 values he lived by. There's one that he still has not, and I'll let you look that up for the fun of it, that he hasn't been able to accomplish. And the reason why that I said wasn't able to accomplish in his life, because guess what? He had goals. There was that one that he was still working on. And for example, health is mine. You know, as you can imagine, building 3 companies in 3 years, I didn't make a lot of time to exercise. And perhaps I should have. But you know what? I still have that as my core value because that is my dream, to keep working towards that and strive. And I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Have a munchkin there behind you.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Munchkin, anyone? It's good. Professors who bring treats, wonderful. Wonderful. So your 5 principles, the first P to the 5 Ps to chasing stars is discovering your principles. How many of you were able to kind of get it down to that 5? Excellent. And for those who are still kind of going through that, that's okay, because this is tough to really analyze and think about what my core values are. Think about that, those principles. So, after the principles, I discovered my passions. All of you are in the communications field, or the desire to be in the communications field. So, as a result, what are some of the things that you may be passionate about? Raise your hand. What are you passionate about? Go for it.
Music.
Music. You're going to do lots of music through communications. Excellent. What else? Yes?
Playing soccer.
Soccer. Excellent. Okay, so maybe being in teams, you enjoy the team component of that? So you enjoy soccer, but your passion is working in teams. Excellent. What are some other things that you might be passionate about? One more. Yes?
Helping people.
Helping people. Man, you're good. That was actually on my list. Good, good. There you go. That was actually number 1, is helping people. Another one is meeting new people. Love meeting new people. How many of you love meeting new people? There you go. See, there you go. Your passions are coming. You enjoy it. You enjoy it. Public speaking. I enjoy it. How many of you love public speaking? I know, it's okay. Usually it's the second fear to snakes, so I totally understand it. Another passion of mine I had is developing concepts and ideas. So if there's something, lots of people like working in the detail, but then there's others that just like the big concepts and envisioning things and making things happen. I'm a little bit of both, but I love developing new things. Put me in a bean counter position, I will go bonkers. Actually, some people might enjoy seeing that. I'm kidding. But there are different things that you need to do. The second P are finding those passions, folks. You're not too young and you're never too old to discover new passions. Make them public. tell people what your passions are. Because I'll tell you, you make those passions public, what could happen? What could happen by making some of those passions public and telling other people? When you leave this university, what do you hope that you attain? A job. Guess what? If you fail to tell people about your principles and passions, where might you be stuck? Grad school. No, I'm kidding. I went to grad school. It's all good. It's good. It's good to go to grad school. But really, it's talking about those. So the P's. What's the first P? Principles. What's the second one? What could that third one be that I just introduced? What did I say? The importance of? You got it.
Public.
Making it public through people. That third P is people. I wasn't able to build 3 companies on my own. Heck no. What it was is when I started sharing them with people. For example, I really wanted to give students experiences with companies. I wanted to get them out in high school, not in college, because I know you get a lot more internship opportunities. But I wanted to help high school students get connected with businesses and also work through the schools, because I knew the schools had to be the conduit. I made that public. I said, I want to make a difference, and this is what I want to do. I attracted a professor at Westchester who had the knowledge of doing a techie kind of system to make that happen. I had the concept, I had the vision, he had the skills. Guess what, folks? You don't need to be good at everything. You need to surround yourself by the people who can make up for what you don't have. This guy had it. He wanted to be a part of something and make a difference. So my internship Gopher.com was born. The next thing was Rhino Living. As a result of my involvement after I launched my internship Gopher out and found a lot of people who were energized by it as well, including the Exton Chamber of Commerce, he said, why don't you come to one of our lunches and promote my internship Gopher? I said, sure, I will. There's actually a speaker by the name of Dave McGrogan going to be speaking that day. Like, aha, I heard of that guy. I heard he's pretty cool, pretty successful. I think 25 million is what he's up to. I want to be around people like that. Am I made $1 million? No, but I will be. Surround yourself by the people in which you want to soon become. So, what do you think I did? I went into that lunch. Where do you think I sat? Close. I had actually somebody else sat down beside me. I would have been right beside him, but I had somebody in between. Actually, the person in between us actually knew me and knew Dave, and his comment was, oh my goodness, because he knew of our energies. You attract like people into your world, whether you realize it or not. So keep yourself in check, folks. How many of you have a dog? How many of you think your dog likes you? Okay, you know what? You need to be the person that your dog loves. And why that is. Because guess what? They love you because they love you unconditionally. But make sure you look inside yourself and love yourself too. So if there are things that are misaligned with who you want to be or who you want to become, like that negative chatter, or maybe it's people that are giving you negative chatter, you are in control. The only thing that you can control is your attitude. No one can take that away from you. So I actually was just reminded 3 days ago, because the Rhino Living business is growing and a lot of people want to help promote it. And it's going to be one of my friends who said, let me help, let me help. And he goes, do you remember that day at the Exton Chamber? I said, yeah. I said, do you remember what you said to me? I said, no. He said, I'm going to meet that man and I'm going to make something happen. I didn't remember that. But I made it public, folks. Make your passions public. I sat down at that table, and he got up and he gave his Rhino Living keynote, and at the time it was Rhino Success Principles, I think it was. And he sat back down and I said, you need to monetize this, and I'm the woman to make that happen. And I said it just like that. I looked at his eyes, I said, I'm the woman. And he's like, well, all right then. Met with him next week. The business was formed 2 weeks later. You can make it happen. It's chasing stars, folks. Chasing stars. Surround yourself. The book, I have another friend, well, became a friend, that was introduced to me. His name is Steve. And he had a book about networking, conversations on networking. And he said, Molly, I'd love to do a training program around it. I do training design, not only public speak, so I said, okay, I'll do it. Guess how much I asked him to pay me for it? Goose said, nothing, nada. My father said, are you nuts? You are talented, Molly. You need to ask for money. I said, no, Dad, I have a feeling this is going to be bigger. Again, you are in control. It is your life. It is your destiny. It is your legacy. I ended up not only producing something for him that now is going to be going into Lincoln Financial, in which I will get a residual income once that's all licensed. Wow, that was really a good, wise investment for me to say, I'll do it for free. Good lesson, folks. Get yourself in the door. You just don't know. My Legacy Producers business is where I actually coach, consult, and help people live their legacy and discover what that is. And I also do public speaking through it. Anyhow, this gentleman, Steve, I designed my website, also proud. I did GoDaddy template, but you know what? It looks really good, legacyproducers.com. You can do it, folks. Don't be scared. Fear not is really how you gotta live your life to do these 5 Ps. He said, this is good enough for me to share with Jeffrey Zaslow. Bless you. Did you ever hear of Jeffrey Zaslow? He actually is the co-author of the last lecture. Have you ever heard of Randy Pausch, perhaps? Some of you have his famous speech that he's given. Well, I developed my Legacy Producers around his speech that he gave at Carnegie Mellon that day. Jeffrey Zaslow is the co-author of that book, and he said, I can show this to Jeffrey now. Wow, you just don't know who people are connected to. Again, make it public. People say, I'm lucky. I said, I'm not lucky. I'm opportunistic. Opportunistic. Spell it, spell check it later. Opportunistic. You gotta be opportunistic. Put yourself out there. So we're doing the principles. We're doing the passions. We're doing the people. Steve introduced me to a gentleman who printed his book. That company is the same company who printed our book. The gentleman has now invited me to become co-owner in an eco-friendly, woman-owned printing company. Wow. I said, what's the investment? Nothing, Molly. Just be there in spirit, in design, and in branding. Oh, I can do that. My husband's like, when do you say no? Not too often. But opportunities are there. You clear the mental clutter, and you build your confidence. And you know what? You act as if. What does that mean to you? Act as if. Act as if. As if what? What do you want to do? What's your name? Brittany. Brittany, what do you want to do when you graduate?
I want to help people who have lost siblings or close family members.
Wow. So act as if you'll be able to take all their pain and hardship away so that they can continue on with their life. Wow. Have something ready for that act as if. When people say, what's up? Don't just say, oh, I'm going to be watching, what's a famous, I don't watch much TV. What's a popular show?
Lost.
Lost. And don't say you are lost, because that won't get you a job either. So, but when somebody says, what's up? Don't say, I'm watching Lost tonight. You know what? What else could you? Unless they will get you in on a deal. You never know. It's like, oh, lost and found. You never know. But have something ready for what's up. It's those folks that just say, oh, you know, I'm just skirting by. No, what's up? You know what? It's going to be a great day. I just feel it. Can you imagine what some people would think if you approach life like that? I'm going to tell you, it's cool to be different. It's cool when you're different, because that's how you will attract who's in your circle. You have an activity on the back. It says, your board of directors. Recently, I can't take credit for this, I was at a Westchester Leading Up program for women. If you ever have the opportunity to be a part of a great group, it's Leading Up for women. It's for students and faculty who are women. Dudes, sorry guys. Leading Up men, you can start it. But what you're going to see right here is your board of directors. What I want you to do right now is think about who is at your table. Board of directors are the people who can influence your life that you listen to. So I want you to think about right now who is on your board of directors that you listen to, who you ask questions to. If you don't have all 8, that's fine. Fill in as many as you can. It might be mom, dad, friend. Don't put the dog, but at least if the dog talks back to you, yeah, maybe. Because sometimes, talking it out is good too. But just write down those people who are in your board of directors. The good, the bad, the ugly too, because let's face it, sometimes our board of directors aren't the most happiest people too. Just be, who do you spend the most time with? All right, I want you to look through those people and put a plus and a minus beside each of those names. Plus being they're a positive force in your life, negative being they are not working towards me, they're working against me. And if you don't have negative, you know what? Celebrate it. That's great. That's great. It took me a while to get rid of, and I'll talk to you a little bit about some of that negative energy that I've had in my life a little bit later. But it takes a while to kind of get those negative ones off your board of directors sometimes. Especially if they're a family member, right? It's tough. It's tough. I want you to look at those board of directors, and I want you to look at the positive and negatives. And I want you to circle the ones that you want to ask to get off your board of directors. Why do you think I'm asking you to do this for yourself? For yourself, not for me. Why am I asking you to do this for yourself?
So you can see who's the negative influences in your life, so that you can actually visualize it instead of just kind of taking it as it comes.
There you go. Don't just keep taking it as it comes. That's right. You want to assess who is on that, so you have that awareness as to, if I'm going to be asking this person, you're going to ask your question, do I really want to hear what they have to say before you ask that question? I want you to write down a few folks that you want to add into that board of directors, because I'll tell you right now, you're the average of the 10 people you spend the most time with. So it's probably those board of director people. You're the average of them. So who else do you want to add onto that board? And believe me, I give tons of talks. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to Villanova for some student leadership type of events too. And there are students that put me on their board of directors. I hope you do. Because there are lots of people that are on my board of directors that what's happening is the average. I'm now in the lower part of my average. That only means that only greater things are going to continue to happen. You want to continue to surround yourself by the people who you want to be most like. How many of you would say you have a mentor? Okay, a few of you. Some of you do not. You know what? That's the first thing that I'm going to encourage you to do. A mentor does not need to be some kind of formal relationship that, okay, you want to be my mentor? Oh, cool, I'll be your mentee. Doesn't have to be that. It can be someone that you just go out and you have a nice synergy, a good vibe with, a good energy. You have good things. You know what? Don't call them a mentor if you don't want, but you know what? Have that person that you can contact throughout whatever situation you're in. You only need 1 or 2 folks, those folks, to really get you through it, especially when you're chasing stars. So, what are the 3 P's, folks? The 4th one, persistence. I wasn't able to build 3 companies in 3 years without persistence. I've had lots of no's. But you know what? I'm going to help you, and we're going to get into the sunshine part, but you want no's. Why do you want no's?
Because you'll want it that much more when you get a yes.
Because you'll want it that much more when you get a yes. There you go. You know that that's just one no closer to a yes. Find your mantras. That's just one I made up. You might like it, use it, whatever fits for you. Find however you want to see it. Another way to look at no's is, great, I know where I stand with them. I'm not wasting my time with that person anymore. I'm going to go over and see some other opportunities going on. You know, my internship Gopher.com business was okay. But there were some stumbling blocks in it, in the fact that there are some school administrators that saw it more as work than opportunity for their students. So you know what? I said, okay, if I can't really spread my legacy really big with this, my internship Gopher.com, and it's still up, it's still running. Students are still having a good time with it, but not to the extent I want it. It opened up other opportunities. If I just wallowed, oh my, I don't have enough schools, or oh my, you know what? What are you going to get? More what? Oh my's. Keep looking for other opportunities. They will come to you. When you keep looking at those, I told you some of the stories about how Gopher led to Rhino, Rhino led to Legacy. Legacy actually led to me buying this other company. It just keeps on going. You need to keep on looking for opportunities because they're there. And if you're a person, how many of you love being around grumpy people? So don't be one. Keep yourself in check. Keep yourself in check. So the persistence and the fear not approach. It was so scary for me because I had always had a little bit of entrepreneur in me, but I also had the parents who said, get a job with good health benefits, you know, it's okay, you know, don't go out and get crazy. You know, I did do that a little bit, and I'll share some of those crazy stories too. But you know what? You need to take that fear not approach. Because it is true when they say to fail is to know that there's other success just around the corner. And that is true. It happens, and you'll experience it. Now, the last P is peace. I found peace in my journey to success, but it was rough. It was rough. You know, as you can imagine, building companies so fast and doing lots of different things, running in different directions. Yep, my marriage did start suffering. Competing priorities. And then also, at the end, I had a serious health scare. Very serious health scare. Yeah, but you know what? I had 2 of my principles at jeopardy. Because thank God, I kind of said, you know what? These are my principles. I had that awareness. Uh-oh. 2 out of my 5 are misaligned. When your principles get misaligned, that's when things really start going astray. And then all those opportunities start dwindling. Got it back up and running. That's a whole nother workshop in itself to find peace. Because I didn't say balance, mind you. If anybody says that they can help you find balance in life, they lie. Don't put them on your board of directors. Because balance, you're always juggling, you're always, if you are going after success, you're always looking for that peaceful moment. And I've learned to live more in the moment instead of always chasing the opportunity. And that's tough to learn. And that only comes with time. But that is a vital part of the 5 Ps of chasing stars. Okay, you got the 5 Ps, right? Okay, halfway there. You have the other sunshine part that I'm going to do in 10 minutes. You ready for it? Everybody has their pen in action. It's called Positivity to the Power of 3. Positivity to the power of 3. How many of you are good math? What do? Put 3 at the top, right? P to Q. Positivity to the power of 3. So, positive reframe is the first P. Positive reframe. What does that mean? Positive reframe. Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Start looking at things in a positive manner, you know, change the way you're looking at things.
Change the way you look at something. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, we had snow. The school districts I know had 2-hour delays. Did you?
No.
So how could you positive reframe that?
Well, I don't have class till noon, so it wouldn't have affected me anyway, even if we had it.
That's a positive reframe. It's like, oh, you know, yay, I don't have class anyway, so that's no big deal. Excellent. How about, man, we're supposed to get 2 feet of snow, and we are, folks. I don't know if you heard that or not on Saturday. Yeah, woo, good times. You can, you know, and you know what happens if you have a car here, you know? How are you going to positive reframe that? Time to go skiing. Excellent, DJ. What else? Time for relax. Hey, that peace thing. I'm going to work on my 5th P. Peace.
The snow's really pretty when it's fall.
The snow is really pretty when it's falling. Excellent.
Time to just cuddle up in your house.
Nice. Find that happy place. That's right. Go cuddle in the house. Good fun times with your roomies, right? What else? Snowball fights. That's right. You know, take it out in aggression too if you need, right? Yeah. No. But that is like positive reframe that. That's the #1 P. #1 P. Like I have a son who's really kind of that creative, energetic kind of kid. He's 5 years old. You know what? My mother says, you know, you're going to have discipline problems with him. And I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, Mom, look at me. You know, of course he's who he is. But you know what I said to her? I said, you know what though? He's going to have awesome leadership qualities. Positive reframe, folks. It's a tough road because 75% of this world is it positive or negative? Negative. And this is where I'm going to get into some not so nice stuff. I remember when I first came here in 2001, I think. No, 2000 I came here. And the woman, one of my coworkers said to me, oh, Molly, that happiness thing, that give you 6 months. Guess what? You do the math. You think she was right? No. My father said to me, and believe me, my father is entrepreneur, crazy man just like me. When I was working for Wells Fargo that you mentioned, I was making a 6-figure salary. And I was 24. I was 24 at the time. So I'm like, nah, buddy, I'm going to go out and get my Beamer, right? No. After a year, and I was pretty much their top salesperson. After a year, I said, Mom, Dad, and it was actually 11 months because if I would have stayed to the 12th month, I would have gotten $40,000 more. And I said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to work for Westchester. Like, you're doing what? I think my salary at the time was $32,000. You do the math. Yeah, it's okay to be different, right? By the way, my motto is make a difference, be the difference. So yeah, I was being different. Sometimes that board of directors is important, but my parents allowed me. I mean, I'm a young professional, and I made that decision. I didn't feel fulfilled in that capacity. Wasn't where my passions were. Guess what? Do you think I'm happy what I'm doing now? Raise your hand if you think I'm happy. Absolutely. Raise your hand if you think I'd be happy if I was still working there. Yeah, no. I would be making mad cash and being miserable. Woohoo! No. Guys, do the 5 Ps of chasing stars. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's rewarding. So the positive reframe is important. Have the positive thoughts. When I left that job, if I had some negative thoughts going on, I would not even be close to where I am today. Not even. So the positive thoughts is the 2nd P. Positive actions is the 3rd P. I used to, when I graduated from Gettysburg, I went out to Pittsburgh to work at a university. I gave one of my information sessions. I worked in admissions. I gave one of my information sessions, and to be quite honest, I had the same energy then as I do now. Well, there was an associate director in the audience, and she, let's just say, didn't have a similar style of delivery than I did. You could tell in the audience, the students were just pumped up to come. They're like, yeah. I overheard that associate director later talking to a coworker saying, oh my God. That was before OMG. Oh my God. I feel like I was just in a Saturday Night Live skit. It wasn't a good thing. I overheard that. How could I have handled that? What are some possibilities? Cry. Yep. What are some other things?
Said something to her.
Said something to her. What might I have said? How rude?
Did you think it was funny?
Did you think it was funny? Oh, that's a kind of cool little spin on it. Did you think it was funny? That's funny. That's awesome. What else? Anything else? I saw a hand back here.
I'll call her a mean name.
Okay, so you would have called her a mean name. That you obviously have that right as an individual. Yes?
I was gonna say you could have like let it affect you, like you could have changed the way that you did it, you know, because like she didn't like it, so, you know.
So I could have totally changed it without even saying anything. I could have been that admissions counselor. Yes, please come to my school. You know what I ended up doing? I said, thank you so much for that feedback. You know, I overheard what you were saying to Lisa. And next time I would love to hear that from you. What kind of feedback or advice would you give me going forward? I wish I could have counted all the ums. In the back of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, baby, I got her where I wanted her. And guess what? My principles, do you think I broke them? Nope. If I would have called her that name, it would have felt darn good at the time, but it wouldn't have helped the situation. I actually then ended up continuing my style. And I tracked those students. What percentage of those students came to that university, do you think?
90?
If the average is about, it's usually around 30% matriculation from, it was 60. 60%. What would have happened to that university if I changed my style? Folks, sometimes the truth is from within and you need to seek a little bit deeper to find the truth. Those positive thoughts and positive actions. My mother told me, I'm too happy. People are gonna think you're fake. Who's gonna wanna be around happy people? Yeah, and believe me, I put a little bit more emphasis on that. You know, she didn't use all that tone. But of course the lens that I heard it from is exactly how I heard it. You know what? People have their own frame of references. You know. What did I say in the beginning? What do you have control over? Your attitude. So I said, thank you very much, Mother, but I'm going to keep going with it. All of these things in your leadership journey, in your finding your fulfillment in your own world, is finding who you are inside. And it's through the 3 Ps, the power to the positive. What is it? The power to the positive framework. Those 3 Ps are vital. What are the 3 Ps?
Positive reframe, positive thoughts, positive
You got it. You got it. Now the hard part is you got it in your brain, you got it in your mouth. Now you need to get it in your actions. Everything that you do. Not just some of the time. It's tough. It's a tough journey. But I'm going to leave you with this one message because I think I am just about out of time. 1 minute. You have 1 minute? Okay. I'm going to take it home, folks. You can't successfully chase stars if you're hanging in a rain cloud, folks. This is a quote that I kind of made up myself, and it is, the sky is not the limit. It is only the beginning. Your job is to shoot for the moon and play among the stars. And that is where you will find your fulfillment in life. So I hope that I am on that board of directors. If you want to hear more about Rhino Living, you can just go to rhinoliving.com. There's weekly motivational emails we send out. So if you need some of that motivation, just sign on up and then keep on charging, and good luck, everyone. Thank you.